Hello everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Lorsen. But before that, this video is brought to you by Darren Cassell and Jeff Scott. Thank you for being farm barons. The Lorsen map can be found over at the FarmingSimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Let me read you a little bit of the description. Welcome to Lorsen, a place right in the heart of Germany. This map, you have 46 fields, 9 meadows, 2 forest areas, a lot of buyable land, 2 farms, a BGA, vehicle dealer, animal dealer. We have 4 sell points, 12 factories, 100 collectible items from Elm Creek. We also have field grass as a new crop, soy drink, and heat as 2 new production items. We have support for the Precision Farming DLC and many paintable ground textures. Now, this map includes 7 required mods. We'll be going over those here in a little bit, but when we take a look at this map, we are going to be using the mods that we typically use when we take a look at maps, that are additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. In addition to that, we have the required mods in the cafe, cowshed 3+3, decorative details pack. We have the half timbered farm building pack. We have the modern hay storage, old farm package, and then the windmill. Now, if you happen to play this map in a farm manager mode or start from scratch, you will find the starting farm is exactly how you see it here in new farm mode. In addition, you do own machinery at the start. You do not own any land at the start. And of course, your bank balance is going to vary depending on your play mode. Now, when we first load in, we do start at the starting farm, right by the farmhouse. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. I'm going to go ahead and scroll on out. You can see a decent amount of this map is water. We do have all the standard crops available to us in Farm Sim 22. In addition, we have field grass, as I mentioned, as an additional crop. Go ahead and take a look at the lands area. You'll see we start out by owning farmland ID 2, 3, and 4, which are all set up as meadows. In addition, we have farm ID 5, which is the main starting farm, and it is 1.81 hectares in size, $81,396 to buy. Then we have farmland ID number 6, $128,646 to buy. Now, there is a second farm on this map. It's up here on this island area. Farmland ID 61 is $71,208 to buy and 1.58 hectares in size. Map does have a BGA. It is farmland ID number 10, $85,464 to buy that one. Let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. The farmland lease screen is going to show us all of the buyable farmlands, how large those farmlands are, if those farmlands include any fields, which field or fields are included, then ultimately how much are those farmlands going to cost us. We've got quite the varied amount of farmlands here. Some of these are lands that are specific to production points. Take a look at our field calculator screen now. This is going to show us the fields and specifically the sizes of those fields, because we all know that the field sizes do not necessarily have to represent with respect to the farmland ID sizes. Let's go ahead and take a look at our precision farming soil map. Now, this map is using the Alpine soil map that is a part of the Precision Farming mod. As you can see, we have a fair bit of loamy sand and sandy loam scattered throughout the main map here. Then up on the northwest island, we've got a little bit of silty clay and loam represented up there. Take a look at our crop counter. You will see that we do have the standard base game crop counter available to us in Farm Sim 22. Then we have field grass that has been added down here. Taking a look at our prices screen, we do indeed have the ability to sell all of our base game crops that we can grow in FS22. In addition, we have the ability to sell eggs, wool, and milk. We also have the ability to sell silage, hay, straw, and grass. As we move down and take a look at our production items, we do indeed once again have the ability to sell all of our base game production items that are available to us in FS22. We do have the ability to buy bulk lime, and we also do have a stone crusher built into the map. In addition, we have field grass. We have heat as an added production item. Now, there's no way to directly sell heat, but heat will be sold at the top of the hour. And then we have soy drink as well as a new production item. This map does not include a way to sell any of the any of the platinum expansion production items. So if you are playing with the platinum expansion and wish to use any of the platinum expansion production items, you will need to put down your own sell point. Start out with a small list of starting equipment. All of it is new, none of it is leased, and is all well maintained and has 0 operating hours on it. We do start out with 10 Holstein cows and 9 chickens and 1 rooster at the main starting farm. In fact, there's also a horse area on the map that we do not own, but does have animals. So if we do buy that area, we will have animals immediately at the start. And then the second farm, when we get up there, we will be buying that. That also has sheep and chickens as well. This map does not have, sorry, wasn't going to do that. This map does have contracts, there's just none listed here. What I meant to say, this map does not have any production items owned at the start. There are 14 production items built in though, and we do have the 100 Elm Creek collectibles. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting fleet. Start out with the Dutzfar 7250 TTV HD medium tractor and the Dutzfar Topliner 4090H harvester. That is paired up with the 4090H harvester header as well as the harvester header trailer. We have the half pipe HP20 trailer. We have a POV5 XL plow. We have the Lemken Samgar 9500K cultivator. The KG 3001 Super Amazon Power Harrow. That is paired up with the Amazon 3000 Super Seeder. We have the Breedall K105 solid fertilizer and lime spreader. Then we have the Amazon ZATS 3200 fertilize spreader. And then we round it all out with a 1500 kilogram front weight. This map does not have any modded vehicles or implements that are built in. And with that, let's go ahead and take a look at our build mode. While we do have 7 required mods that are on this map also does indeed have a few custom buildings that are built into it itself. We've got a big modded big garage, a modded open wooden garage. You have some modded silos and other such things as well that are built in. Silos, extensions, containers. We have a modded power washer. Then we have some farm buildings. Here we can have our modded heating plant. This is the one that will produce heat. Here we have a oil mill. And then we have the required mod in windmill. There are no sell points. We do have a pair of greenhouses here, although I don't really know the differences between these and the base game greenhouses. Standard orchards, and then we do have a windmill. And I will tell you that you do have the ability to sell the windmills on the map if you own the land. As far as animal areas go, we have some modded areas that are included with this map. No custom fences, but as far as others, we have a heap load of other decorative items because we have the decorative details pack, which is listed as a required mod. And when we get here to our painting screen, you will see that we have quite a plentiful list of paintable ground textures. Yeah, it might be the longest list that I have seen to date. And that is also extended here with paintable plants. You have quite the list in there as well. So let's go ahead and kind of take a look at all of these paintable textures. We have animal mud, asphalt, concrete, another form of concrete, third form of concrete, fourth form of concrete. Fifth, concrete. Dirt. Grass. Another grass. We have concrete again. And again. And again. And again. They all look the same to me. We have forest ground. Grass again. Concrete. Gravel. More gravel. 4 flavors of gravel. We're just going to run through the various gravel iterations now. Or concrete. This really doesn't look like concrete, but okay. Then we have bricks. More bricks. Some lattice work, it looks like. And we're nearly done the list. Wow, now let's move on to plants. So we have grass. Small grass. That needs to not support it. Oh, well, that might make it easier. Meadow grass. Meadow grass medium. Then we have branches. We have foliage, it says. We have mushrooms. Maple leaves. Thimbleberry. Maiden fern. Stinging nettle. We have paintable cultivated ground. Painted plow ground. We have stones small, paintable stones. Medium stones. And let me guess, big stones. Then we have some plants. Some more plants. Even more plants. We're just going to continue this trend of planting plants. And there we go. Wow, that was a ton of stuff. So we have our animal mud, right? Concrete. Pebbles are kind of cobblestone. Concrete. Stamped concrete dark, stamped concrete light. Or it looks like dirt. Then we have our grass, our dry grass. And then, okay, so here we have some brickwork. Now these were different textures, but I tell you, they look all the same to me. Forest ground. Some rocks, various gravels. If you can't do something with these textures, well, I don't know what you're going to need. We have a brick. Weathered brick, a dark brick. Brick with kind of grass growing in between them. I don't know, quite frankly, I'd love to see a lot of these textures make their way into every map. And then we have our wet ground. We have our paintable cultivated ground, our paintable plowed ground. We have various paintable rocks. little mushrooms, sticks, grasses, and then our bevy of paintable plants. And all that before we really even got around to our farm tour. Let's go ahead and get on with that. So here where we start out, this is where we have our farmhouse with a sleep trigger. Over here we should have a silo. So we have our dump station here. Then our out pipe for our silo. Now with respect to can the farms be customized? Yes, both farms you can sell everything at the farm, including the light poles and decorative elements. So we are going to give the map a full point there with respect to can the farms be customized. Gotta go inside a little bit. So here we have 25 pigs. We have our slurry point. Then we have our food trough. Our straw point in here. And our water trough. More storage there. We do have 3 pull-through silage bunkers. We have our cow building located over here. Again, we have 10 cows in there already, 200 cows in total. Now, in here we have our food trough and our straw trigger. But you may find that you don't see the little blue icon. Well, that's because it's hiding here, behind these liftable gates. But we do have a food trough in here and a straw trigger. We have our milk trigger located right there. We have 10,000 liters of solid fertilizer in this tank. Put a lot more in there. We have our output pipe. We have our chicken coop. We have our egg spawn point. We have our chicken trigger. We already have 9 chickens and 1 rooster in here. Then we have our food trough. Total of 30 chickens in this facility. The other side of the building, we do have a slurry trigger for our cows. And there, for gentlemen, is basically the farm tour of the starting farm. Go ahead and take to the skies. Got our farm tour, or farm here. Go ahead and take a look, and we'll go ahead and pan around. And as we're panning around, we'll talk about the other production items that are on this map. We have 14 production items overall. We have a BGA, we have a windmill, we have a cafe, and the windmill and cafe are custom production items. We have a biomass heating plant, which is also custom. We have a fodder mixture, which is going to allow us to grind grass into hay, and then hay and grass and straw into silage and TMR as well. We have a tailor, sugar mill, oil mill, spinnery, carpentry. Then we have a grape and cereal area, as well as a regular flour mill and a small greenhouse. I'm just going to kind of go up here to the island, and maybe we'll start going around the map in that direction. As I said, we do have windmills on the map, and where we have windmills, if we own the land, we will be able to sell those. Here we have our windmill. I'll probably go ahead and buy the various productions here in a little bit and show you those once we've concluded the aerial tour. Coming over here to the island, we have our second farm. I won't go through this during the flyover, but we have a sheep pen, we have a chicken coop, we have a cow building here at the second farm, as well as a hay dryer and silo system. Going across the northern part of the land, you will see that this map is fairly flat. In fact, I think all of the farmland itself is flat. We've got a couple berms here around the edge of the island for flood control and some floodgates that we can close. Pretty interesting little detail there. I believe this is, if memory is serving me correctly, this may be the mill. The standard mill. Else it's just going to be a sell point. Go ahead and just check the PDA. Yes, this is just a standard harbor sell point. Make our way just kind of back across the map again. Just south of Field 8, got a little village. And within that little village, we have our animal dealer, complete with animated animals right here. We have our tailor and our grape processing center. And here we have the cafe. We have our fuel point. We have our biomass heating plant. We have our spinnery. Here is that horse area I mentioned earlier. That if you buy, you do start out with some horses. Then we have a sell point here also. This is our new flour mill. We have an interactive icon, dump point, and spawn point around the back. We have our vehicle dealer, our fuel station, we have our sugar mill, as well as our carpentry shop. This is going to be the fodder production. We have our cereal factory and oil mill located down here along the southern part of the map. We have a lime buy point. We also have a grain sell point. And then we have the BGA just south of our starting farm. That starting farm is right there. We have the BGA. If you do own the BGA, which you have to buy the land in order to own it, then you can sell all of the BGA elements. You have the BGA there you can sell. You sell these 3 bunkers. And at that point, you'll have a large area where you could possibly build out your own biogas plant. The shed and the scales, they are going to remain, as well as the decorative items right at the edge of the fence. But other than that, you've got all of this area to build out your own BGA. Make our way back over here to our vehicle shop. And then we have our dealer trigger. Go ahead and get our Mahindra. And you can see we've got a decent area for our vehicles to spawn in at. Although it's right here at the gate. That might be a little apprehensive for buying a whole bunch of stuff. Because if you get a whole bunch of stuff lined up here, then you may end up with stuff in the way, and you're not able to get things out of the way very easily because maybe some things are connected and in the way of the gate. Kind of an interesting place to start, though. Typically, I would have thought, well, let's start over here and work our way that direction as opposed to starting right at the front gate. We do have our dealer trigger located right here. So here we can paint, sell, paint, repair, customize our vehicles to our heart's content. Let me go ahead and buy all of the production items. We'll run through the production items and then we'll get on with the drive around. Now that we own all the productions, take a look. We have the custom windmill. This windmill is going to be able to make wheat, barley, oat, and sorghum flour. But in addition to that, we have 4 new flour recipes. We have the ability to make flour out of corn. 15 units of corn is going to make 20 units of flour. 15 units of sunflowers for 20 units of flour. 15 units of canola for 20 units of flour. And 15 units of soybeans, again, for 20 units of flour. Cafe has the ability to not only make bread and cakes, but also produce our butter, cheese, and chocolate. Our biomass heating plant is going to take 100 units of wood chips and produce 300 units of heat and 10 units of solid fertilizer. And we can also take 200 units of straw and produce 200 units of heat and 10 units of solid fertilizer. Our fodder mixer is going to take 1,000 units of 1,000 units of grass and make into 1,000 units of hay. We can also take that same 1,000 units of grass and convert it into 1,000 units of silage. Or we could take 250 units of grass and straw and 500 units of hay and mix that into 1,000 units of TMR. As far as the other production, we've got a standard Taylor, sugar mill, oil mill, spinnery, carpentry center, as well as grape processing, cereal factory, regular mill, and small greenhouse. Let's get on with the drive around portion of this video. To the right, we have one of our fuel points. To the left, we've got our carpentry and our sugar mill. To the left, we've got fairly standard carpentry. We have our interactive icon. We have our wood cell trigger, as well as where we're going to bring our planks. Then we have the wood cell trigger icon. Then we have our spawn point for our furniture pallets. For the sugar factory, we have our interactive icon. We have our sugar pallet spawn point. And then I suspect around the back, we're going to have our dump point there as well. Watch out for this European traffic. That's all I can say. And down here we have the fodder factory. So we have our interactive icon. We have our dump point. Then we have our fill point for our output. Grass, hay, silage, total mixed rations, straw. And quite a nice building as well. You could store all types of things in there. Coming around here to the north of Field 19, we have our cereal factory and oil mill. We have our plank spawn point, pallet spawn point, our dump point interactive icon. We have our dump point interactive icon and pallet point for the cereal factory. And I think you can see the same car coming up twice in a row. As I was saying, I think you can see the collectibles are pretty easy to find. I think we've probably already driven past 6. Here we have our lime buy point. We have a grain sell point here. But we are missing the little blue floaty. We already talked about the BGA. For the triggers to pop up, you will need to own the land. Cute camping area right beside the biogas plant. I want to thank you guys for having the patience. We are working with a temporary mobile setup for these flood of videos that have come out over the last 2 days. As such, I don't have access to my normal recording gear, nor my normal playing gear. I'm going to circle back here to town so we can take a look at the custom standard flour mill. Just south of Field 37, we have then the flour mill. We have our interactive icon. We have our dump station. Then we have our flour spawn point. We'll head up to the sell point and the horse area next. So let's take a look at the PDA. We have the equestrian farm sell point, and then if we buy the equestrian farm, then you'll see that we do have now the triggers popping up for the animal pen. Start out with 8 horses in here, total of 12. We have our food trough trigger inside of here, as well as our straw trigger. Around the corner we have our stone crusher. A little bit of a detour on the road. Nice little detail there. Let's make our way up to the harbor real fast. here at the harbor, we have our dump point. And we'll make our way all the way over to south of Field 1. And that is where the mill is going to be located. To do that, we're going to have to... Oh, we got another little town up here we need to swing through as well. Now, with respect to our scoring system, as I said, we are going to give the map a full point with respect to having 14 production items built in. We're also going to be giving the map a full point because we do have the ability to sell all of our base game props, production items, and animal outputs. We have our animal trigger here with animated cows. We're going to give the map a full point because we can sell everything at both starting farms. Or the starting farm and the secondary farm. Buildings where appropriate are using the new texture technique. We are going to give the map a full point there as well. Even though we've got lots of custom buildings in here, these do have, if you get close to the brick, you can see how the brick is somewhat recessed into the wall. Are coming out of the wall, so that is the new texturing technique, and we are making use of the new 3D style windowing features. We have our base game rate processing, so we have our dump point, interactive icon, and pallet spawn point. We have our tailor, so we have our wardrobe trigger, our dump point, our interactive icon, then our pallet spawn point at the back door. We have our spinnery located right here. We have our pallet spawn point, dump point, interactive icon. Here's where we're going to draw our wood chips out. Sorry, our solid fertilizer out of this biomass heating plant. Remember, from the production overview, wood chips in, straw in, and we're going to get heat and solid fertilizer out. That's where we're going to draw our solid fertilizer. We have our dump point for our straw and wood chips. We have a fuel point. And then here we have the Farmer's Cafe. Dump point, pallet spawn point, and interactive icon around the front. Right there. And that's basically a combination of the bakery and the dairy. Oh, a nice little advertisement for the upcoming DLC pack. I don't know who all is excited for that. I'm excited for it. So overall, I think your probably best bet is going to be machinery that's 6 meters or less on this map. We do have some narrow roads. You're going to want to use implements that fold up very, very well. So here at the windmill, we have our pallet spawn point for flour. We have our interactive icon and our dump point here at the grate. They're going to make wheat, barley, oats, sorghum, corn, sunflower, canola, or soybean flour. And then we're going to go through the floodgates. Literally the floodgates. Along this narrow land bridge out here to this little island. We have 4 fields out here, as well as the secondary farm. We have our sleep trigger, our small greenhouse. Here we have the sheep building. 25 sheep can go in here. We start out with 10. We have our wool spawn point and our sheep feed trough. Large machinery shed. We have a pull-through silage bunker. We have a hay dryer. We have then a grain silo, dump and fill point. Around the back is where we have our dump point for our hay dryer. We have our slurry point for our cows here. Now let's talk about our final scoring metric. Trigger and interactive areas being clearly marked. I had initially had a full point there as well for a full 5-0. I want to take back a little bit because we are missing a little bit of a few of the floaty blue icons. So we're going to go with 3/4 of a point there. So close to a 5-0. 4.75 out of 5. Here we have our dump point for our food and our straw. $80 cows in this facility. We have our milk point. We have our slurry storage point. Then here we have a chicken coop. Chickens are already here at the start. We have our food. We have 3 roosters, if I'm remembering right. And then 180 chickens. We have a total of 360 chickens in this facility. As far as where the eggs spawn at, I think we're going to come around the side. And here's where our eggs are going to spawn at. A little sneaky there. Get over to that. So guys, that is Lorsen. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Is this a map that you're going to be giving a whirl on? What do you all think? It's got a few, I've had a few, I'll be honest, deja vu moments on this map. I feel that it's taken some areas like the town up here by fields 2, 8, and 3. That feels an awful lot like at least one other map that we have seen already. Just the general road layout there just has a little bit of deja vu feel to it. Be curious to know if you all agree with me, and maybe someone knows which map I'm referring to, and maybe mention that in the comments below. And until next time, happy farming.